someone told me, I don't know if this is true, they said there's 40 to 50 feet of topsoil out there. It's a whole kind of river delta. And it's just real strawberry country out here. Too bad they spray the heck out of them with pesticides.
Oh, yeah. Kill the topsoil.
Oh, man.
That's something that we've talked about in other shows, is the focus is on the plant instead of the ground. And the pesticides are killing the earth, but they don't care, because then you're forced to buy the herbicides, pesticides, all the different things, because you have to feed the plant, because there's nothing coming out of the earth to feed them. So you're actually stuck on the chemical trail.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And
it's surprising how we do thrive, even on these compromised fruits and vegetables.
Absolutely.
Human body's amazing.
Yes, and basically the plants are growing on 3 different things, NPK, but from the ground would give it like 80 different minerals and nutrients and vitamins and all these different things. And so the plants look good, kind of like the people. They're not as strong as they should be, and we get weak inside because of it, right? We're trained to look good on the outside, and the inside's falling apart, but we take care of the outside, and everybody goes, well, you don't look sick to me. Same with the plant, right? Plants look great.
Yeah. Well, I remember Dr. Morse came under attack, by some people saying, well, these fruits are not what they used to be, so you can't be fruitarian so much anymore. They're all hybrided out, and they're full of pesticides, whatever. And his counter was that he still regenerates people even on Walmart fruit. So, there's still a lot of healing power in the fruits we get. Of course, we try to get the best we can, but that's not always easy. But it's still our highest choice,
And I think we all know the answers to this, but there's people that are watching that don't. So why is that? Why can a fruit that's not actually sun ripened and doesn't have all the nutrients, how does that heal the body?
Well, the fruits are number one, they're astringent. They pull things. They help move the lymphatic system. Like I say endlessly, it all goes back to cleaning the cells. This lymph fluid is 75% of the interstitial fluid. The fluid between the cells, and this is what cleans them. So they're like little babies. We have to keep them clean. We have to feed them with the blood. Blood brings the nutrients, and the lymph cleans them. So our little 100 trillion children need to be clean. They need their diaper changed. I mean, when my daughter's diaper wasn't changed in time, they get rashes, right? Those acids burn them, burn their little sensitive skin. It's the same thing with those little sensitive cells. So, we need to keep that moving and clean, and the fruits do that more than any other food. And so, even though it might not be the greatest orange in the world that you're eating or whatever, it's still going to have those properties. And especially with the berries, you're going to have those flavonoids, right? Those wonderful antioxidants that come in and help, neutralize acids and toxins and all that. So they're just super powerful. Unlike the vegetables, the vegetables can help us rebuild, but they're not cleansing like the fruit. And the more I study this, the more I get into it, the more I experience it myself, the more I realize just how much we do need the fruits. And even if we can't get our hands on them. But I don't know if you guys have Trader Joe's where you're at.
Yes, I do anyway.
Oh, you do? Okay. And in North Dakota?
We don't. Not in Fargo. We just got a natural grocer about a year ago.
Oh,
so
nice.
That was our big woohoo. But no, we don't have a Trader Joe's here. We are hopefully soon. But
well, they've been able to really bring sort of Whole Foods, quality in a lot of ways, at a more affordable level. I can get a pound of I think they're from your area, Gary, some wild boreal blueberries, no pesticides, and they say they're wild. They're tiny little blueberries. Are
Yeah.
really great for $3.50 a pound.
Wow.
They're frozen,
Yep.
but they're amazing. And frozen is not that much lower than fresh. It is lower than fresh, but if you have the choice of okay, having a non-organic fresh and a frozen organic or wild no pesticides, I'd rather take the frozen myself.
Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
you brought that up because that's a very important question. Is people are always saying, well, fresh or frozen, or a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, when they actually pick to freeze, it is ripe. It's sun ripened.
Yes.
So it is more powerful at that point, even though they're freezing it, than picking it 15 days or whatever it is before it's ripe and shipping it around the country and gassing it and doing whatever else they're doing.
Good point. That's a good point. Yeah, if you can find the frozen that is there's some care taken when they freeze it. Kind of like these fishing boats. They go out there in the ocean, right? They're processing plants on the ocean. They catch the fish and then they actually have it canned immediately on the ship. Not that I eat fish, but that's just sort of their industry has figured out how to keep it the freshest and the best by doing it all right there. So that's a good point. It really is about picking it correctly. I mean, because as the fruit ripens, the sugar content goes up to a point. The acid content goes down. So yeah, eating unripe fruit can actually do you damage, especially with the pineapples and the kiwis.
Yeah, I was going to say the pineapples. That's big.
Big, yeah.
You have to really be careful with that because a pineapple, after it's picked, will not continue to ripen. It will always stay acidic.
I've heard the only fruit that ripens after it's picked are bananas.
Yep,
The rest just ferment and they rot.
Yep,
So it's kind of foolish to say, oh, I'm gonna have this green pineapple, take it home, put it on the counter for a few days, and it's gonna be ripe. No, it's just gonna start fermenting and rotting. So it's really
Mark, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What is your take on if they are fermented then? Eating fruits that have been fermented.
Well, you're taking in degraded food. It's lost its potency. You're going to take in some funguses, some bacteria, things like that. So it's just more for the body to handle. Your body will handle it, but it's just harder on the body. It's not as nutritious. So learning how to go to a market and actually, recognize what fruit is ripe, what is not. Actually looking at it, picking it up, and each fruit's different. I'm not an expert on it. I'm trying to get better at it. Some of my friends are farmers here, the generations of it, and they know how to tap on the watermelons and the honeydews and all that. They know how to look at the things and know.
I act like it when I go. I pretend that I know what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, fake it till you make it, right? I mean, as long as you're trying, you get better.
That's right.
But I learned a trick with the avocados. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can pick up the avocado, right? Of course, kind of push on it a little bit, and then there's that little kind of belly button on the avocado. Take your thumb and flip that off, and then look. If it's nice and green inside there, it's a good avocado. But if you flip that off and it's all kind of degraded and brown and crummy in there, you probably got a bad avocado. So that's a good little trick there.
Is it bad because overripe or?
Yeah, you're overripened.
Okay.
Avocados are a little tricky, That is one fruit that they do pick a bit hard. I don't know if it's technically unripe, but it's a bit hard.
Yes.
And then it will only soften as it's off the tree. There's some kind of a chemical reaction that takes place when it comes off the tree.
Okay.
So that's okay. That avocados are okay to pick a little, to buy a little bit hard, as long as as long as you take a look at that little area there, flip that little cap off. So, and I love avocados. They're fantastic.
Oh my God, they're amazing.
They're part of what they call the veggie fruits. You know, we're still classically technically eating a fruit, but it's a veggie fruit. And they're actually, from what I hear, they're berries. Avocados are berries. So,
Wow.
Really,
yeah, yeah.
really.
So I love them. They're
So,
fantastic.
so how
Mark,
did, go
tell
ahead.
us a little bit about like what your journey has been and what has gotten you to where you are now.
Well, I had fibromyalgia, and I was just a guy that was eating anything that tastes good. I had no idea about all this. I didn't care, and no one's going to change me because I love I love my cooked foods. I ate all the meats, hamburgers, steaks. I love barbecued ribs, all those things. And but I started to lock up. I was getting stiffer and stiffer, and I'm a surfer and a skier, so my body has to be fluid. I mean, especially in surfing, if any part of your mechanics are off, if your neck's stiff, your back's stiff, you can't surf because you have to be able to pop up on this board that wants to go everywhere. So it was becoming a problem, and I finally reached the bottom. I was at Malibu, and I was standing with my surfboard, and I was ready to go out and get some waves. And I had done all my stretching. I had to do yoga for, 45 minutes just to feel like I could even do anything and take, 2, 3 ibuprofen. And a little wave came in and knocked me down as I was going out, just a tiny little wave. And I had to have a friend actually help me up. And I said, this is not good. There's something going on. So anyways, long story short, I went to a doctor who had was talking about food allergies and how that causes fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis and things. So I gave her a try, and she did a blood test, and it's called a blood panel. They take your blood out and they put it up against 300 different foods, and they see the antigens that come back. Okay. So literally, I was sitting at my computer, and the test came over via email. And I was at my computer, it was in the morning, and I was eating a cheese omelet with ham in there. I had white bread with butter and jam. I had probably some potatoes and, coffee with cream and sugar. And literally everything I was eating came up negative or positive for the food allergy, right? Dairy was off the charts. The gluten in the wheat was off the charts. Those were the highest. That and pinto beans were just off the charts. And I sat there and I go, what am I gonna eat? I mean, there's nothing left, right? If I don't have breads and pastas and dairy, my cheeses and my creams and ice creams, I mean, there's nothing to eat. I mean, what is there to eat? Certainly not fruits and vegetables. Come on, you
That
know.
stuff will
So
make you sick.
so I just said, well, let's give it a try. Let's see what's going on. And prior to that, I got to add that I was on the Atkins diet, and I believe this is what got me, because as I found out, proteins are very hard on the kidneys, and they shut down the kidneys. And I was on high protein. I went into what they call ketosis. That's where you get that foul taste in your mouth, and you know that you're digesting fats for energy. That's what they want you to do. Anyways, it shut me down. So I gave it a try, and I started knocking out things, and then I'd go in and I'd eat real good, and I'd feel some results, but then I'd fall off the wagon. I would hurt again, and then I would come back to it, and it took years to turn it around. It really did. Slowly but surely, I just, I think what happens is that the body, once you put good food into it, it starts to change on you, and you can't tolerate the bad food anymore.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it won't let you. And you get to points like I'm at a point now where cooked food is hard on me, really hard, no matter what it is. Even a soup, I feel my energy come down, and I feel just all kinds of more energetic things. You know, when you're thriving on these high energy foods, I mean, it's hard to tolerate the low energy again. And sometimes you welcome it at night, right? Maybe a nice sweet potato on a cold night and helps you calm down and sleep. But mostly it really takes you down. And I do feel I still feel stiffness sometimes if I cheat too much. So I'm not cured of fibromyalgia, but I am. There's probably still 5% in there. But I don't tolerate any muscle stiffness anymore. I don't tolerate any kind of low energy levels. I mean, I just want to thrive, and I feel better now in my 50s than I did in my 30s, maybe even my 20s. So, I think I think it's the body, just really responding to what we're supposed to eat, and that's it. So that's sort of my story, and I found Dr. Morse 3 years ago. It was really strange because I had made the decision that I had found my remedy, right? And that I was going to help other people. That's how good I felt. I said, there's too many people hurting out there. And I look at my family and it just, everybody's hurting, and I got to give back. I have to spread the word on this. And when I made that decision, within a very short period of time, a few weeks, three different people had come up to me in conversation and mentioned Dr. Morse. And I didn't know who he was. I had no idea who Dr. Morse was. So I finally looked into him and I started listening to his YouTubes. And I was, you have those aha moments where you go, oh yeah. Oh. I just locked into everything he was saying. It was just amazing. And he'd go off onto these big spiritual things, and I was right there with him. So it was an amazing amazing discovery to find somebody on YouTube that you connected with as a human being, and that could help you further what you're doing. So yeah, going with his ideas of high fruit just took me up to the next level, and then the herbs and all that. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I got here through my suffering and found my remedy. So, what's really great, you guys, and I'm sure you guys get this too. I mean, I come under attack a lot. It's just part of the game. And, people think you're a charlatan or you're misguided or you're some kind of occultist or whatever they're thinking, it's okay. But when you have the experiential knowledge of it, when you've actually done the work yourself, I think that makes us a better healer or a better communicator, because I believe it down to my core. No one has to tell me that this is right or wrong. I know it's right. I've experienced it. I've changed because of it. So yeah, I mean, we get hung up on all these things. Oh, well, we're really not fruitarians. We're more of an omnivore, or we're not supposed to eat so much fruit. We're going to burn our adrenals out. We're going to fry our pancreas. We're going to get diabetes. All these things. We know it's not true because we've done it. So that's it. That's why I can have such convictions, because I know my own truth.
Absolutely. It's core deep. It's right to our core. And obviously, too, because of the years that I've spent, too, going back to the food that made me sick and moving on to the food that made me well, and then going back to the food that made me sick, there is no question which food makes me sick and which makes me healthy.
Right.
And nobody can break that truth.
Yeah, it's undeniable. Absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. And I think people recognize that in us, because we have gone down to Hellville and we've come out of Hellville, and we can tell our story. And at the core, I think people can pick up on truth. I mean, I'm just amazed how many people listen to me. I mean, I just put it out there. I didn't know if anybody was going to listen. I just started putting it out there, and then people started listening. So obviously we're striking a nerve with people. And I know you guys are focused on the adrenals. Is that what's going on? Adrenal fatigue and all this?
That's a piece of it for us, of course. But I mean, just as well as we have to look at the whole body.
Yeah.
Not just one piece. You can't just take one piece and go, okay, we're going to focus on this. It has to be looking at everything as a whole.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way to detoxify is to go after. I just call them the Fab Four, like Dr. Morse. The kidneys, right? The
Yeah.
kidneys are the doorway out for the lymph system. I mean, they control the lymphatic system, the sewer system. I mean, this is the most important thing. Yeah, if you can't let the sewage out, what's going to happen?
Right.
You're gonna become a toxic cesspool. And of course, we have the adrenal glands that control the kidneys, so those are super important. And then we go after the GI tract, right, which is the trunk of the tree, the center of the body,
Right.
the core of everything, all the drainage, everything moves into that. The endocrine glands are the government of the body, right? And we have to move the lymph system. We're so gunked up, most of us, that we have to dig down with the herbs and get that stuff moving. I still have some trapped in my left knee. You know, I work on it, but it's still there. And I'm a little bit lazy. I got to admit, I should be having my legs up against the wall for a half hour a day, right? Reading a book or looking at my iPhone or whatever, but have those legs up and drain that out. The feet and the legs are hard to drain. They really are. So
And it is such a simple thing that I think we all forget. It's an easy thing everybody can do for the most part.
yeah, absolutely.
So, have you gone through your own healing crises?
Yes, I do from time to time. I just had one. I had a really good one.
Good as far as getting stuff out, or
Well, yeah, that's sort of the dichotomy of it is that your best healing crises are the ones that give you the most hell.
yeah.
Because I for some reason, I never get colds anymore, which maybe not is not a good thing. I don't know. But I was over Christmas time. I was at my dad's house, and he has a summer house, and you can't heat the house, and it was really a cold snap, and I got overly chilled. My body just got really cold, and I slept in a room without a heater and all that, and woke up with the blanket off and freezing, right? But I just, for some reason, you really chill your body, like catching a cold, right?
Yes.
Overly chilled. So I kicked up something. And I remember driving home, I'm on the freeway, and I got my heater full blast in the car, and I'm still cold. I get home, I draw a hot bath, I get in that bath, and it's hot water, and I'm still cold in the hot water for 10 or 15 minutes. So I got out, and by this time my body was really hot. I got out, I stood up, I got really dizzy, and then I just started puking.
Wow.
And from that point on, I ran such a hot fever. I didn't take my temperature, but I was way up there. I was hallucinating. I had these amazing out of body hallucinations. I was so feverish. But and then finally went to sleep. Woke up. I was the kind where you drench the bed with sweat.
Oh yeah.
And then my body sent me down into the chill again, and then back up. And it was 2 or 3 days of just really cold and flu-like symptoms, draining the sinuses, lots of body aches. I took one Advil during the whole thing because I didn't want to suppress anything. When you're going through these crises, and I just don't believe in suppressing the symptoms because we want this stuff to run its course. It's actually a period where you dig really deep, and you're not going to do it on your own. It's too much to do on your own. You have to just go along for the ride that your body wants to take you on. And I got to say that when I came out of it, I felt so much better. I mean, the just the looseness of my body, the youth and vitality that was back in my body. We can feel that when we just walk, right? When we feel really good, don't you feel like you walk with grace, and you just move with grace, you sit with grace, everything. I just felt so good. And I shared this story on my Monday night thing, and someone asked, well, how do you know if that was really a flu or a detox healing crisis? I don't know. Maybe they're both the same. I don't really know.
But you know how you feel after it's done.
Yeah, it was just some super duper heavy cleaning. And I think, I think we got to go through these every once in a while. I think it's the body just, just saying, hey, it's time. But, if we go ahead and we start hitting with Dristan and NyQuil and tons of anti-inflammatories and pain relievers and all that, do we really get to experience it? Or do we just suppress it down so then it builds up and all of a sudden you've got something really big on your hands? You know, you've got a chronic degenerative illness on your hands instead of once in a while going for a deep cleaning. So that's my belief. Dr. Morse always says, "Go hug somebody with a cold." You know, go catch their cold. It's like, what are you, crazy? Come on. But I understand the wisdom in that. He's a wise man. He's been at this game a long time, and incidentally, he's retiring. I don't know if you guys know that.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, Dr. Morse is going to be retiring from actually taking clients. He's going to still do the videos. He's still going to write protocols, but he's not going to see clients anymore.
He's still going to do his schools?
I believe he is. Yeah, he's going to be more of a teacher and communicator now, which I think is great.
Oh,
it's awesome.
And
he's probably there for advice, on the tougher cases and things like that. But he really, really wants to have a legion of healers out there. This has been his goal, to have just a massive army of us out there, and I think he's going to really work on that. So,
and through us, even though I'm not. I don't know his entire protocol. I don't know that anybody does. That's why he's having the schools, right?
Yeah.
But there is an army coming from all of us that are also learning from him, because we're bringing them to him.
Yes.
And so his army is growing. And
absolutely.
It's going to change the world, even if it's one person at a time. It's like, at first maybe there was 100 people, and then they become 1,000, and then they become 10,000, and that's how that's going to work. Is he's like us sharing our knowledge right here, and people watching that, and somebody's going to get it. They're going to get the information. They're going to understand that this is the truth, because they've been going into a system where they've been sick for so long.
True.
One of the things that you said that amazed me was you went to one doctor and found out you had fibromyalgia. There's people that go for 15 years and still don't know.
Yeah, I think I think that the name really doesn't matter. It's
Right.
Systemic acidosis is what I had. She could have gone to another doctor. They would have called it rheumatoid arthritis or lupus or Lyme or it could have been other diagnoses. It's just I really believe. Most of the stuff I come across is really just acidosis.
Totally agree.
I don't really see disease out there. I just see acids chewing you up. And they say, well, you don't think virals are real? Of course they're real, but they don't thrive in a clean, lymph system. They're taken out. We have all kinds of little armies in there to take that stuff right out of the body. Doesn't belong there. It's out. They come in, these little intelligent little lymphocytes come in, and they almost sniff little things and see, are you good or bad? And if they get a bad reaction, you're out of here. But if your body's gunked up, they're just going to fester. So so it's really, I try not to really even focus on the label.
Yeah,
me
either. But you mentioned the label, so and
that's
what everybody's focused on. Well, I have this. Well, I have that. Well, you're not your dis-ease. You're your acidosis, and if you keep feeding it, it's going to keep growing, and it's going to get worse.
That's a good analogy there. Yeah. It's really how acidic are you, and where are those acids? Where are your weak spots? Let's go after those. Let's help those. One thing I want to mention is that what I'm telling clients and people that I have interactions with, is that if you find your remedy through this, please share. Please carry the message. Make the deal up front. You know, that if I find my remedy, I am going to help others. That way we can make this go viral. Because, you know, we really, you know, we really can carry the torch. We really can help others. You know, once but we have to find your remedy first. If you're sick, you're going to be focused on yourself, and I get that. You're going to be selfish, and I totally get that. Be selfish for a while, but know that you know, when you do find it, to give back.
Yes, learn and then share.
Yes, yeah. Have your experiences. Have your truth. Find your truth, and that's the only way you're going to be a good communicator, anyways. People will pick up on BS real quick. You know, and yeah, I watched something the other day, and well, I mean, not to pick on David Wolf. David Wolf is a fantastic communicator, but I think he's losing his way because you know, I'm getting a sense that he's trying to overmarket everything, and everything's now about supplements and the latest, almost like gimmick, you know. I believe at his core, though, he's a healer. I really do. But I think he's wrapped up in this, you know, he's found an audience, and I think he's feeding on that. The same with this Marcus Rothkrantz, you know, they like the show business of it, and they lose their true focus, which is really about healing the individuals. But I believe they have it, and I don't know what happened to Dan McDonald. Do you guys? Dan has not made videos in months.
I know it.
He's a great healer. Great healer. We need him back.
He's still doing emails.
He is,
I
okay.
think he's still doing calls with individuals. But yeah, he was just so, I think, fed up is the word, with doing the videos. He loves doing videos. He said, I'm going to be doing it, I'm just not going to be sharing them. Which is funny.
But a great communicator and a very real guy. You got a sense that it never went to his head. He's just a real person. So I love his videos. So
yeah, and his videos he did on the herbs while he was in Hawaii, those things are amazing.
Maybe he's just enjoying Hawaii so much.
Well, I could
forget it, man.
Let's hope
the
that's
waterfall today.
And let's hope that someday all these videos he's making he'll share with us.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, sometimes we have our cycles, you know. I hope to be doing these Monday night things. I just started a few months ago, and I'm trying to build an audience there. You know, hopefully that can really help a lot of people. It's just a venue where you can come in and ask your questions and all that, and hopefully I build that one up and do more of those kinds of things, you know. I mean, it's amazing. I'm sure you guys experience the same thing. The amount of people that we interact with just on the social media that might ask a little question that might send them in a great direction is amazing. You know, I mean, just hundreds of people a week just, you know, we're just helping. So this new technology is really amazing for that one-on-one communication. You know, I really feel like even this, that we're communicating one-on-one. This is a real human relationship. Even though the technology is in the middle of it, it's still a human interaction, you know? So this is all amazing.
To those who are just like starting out, getting into it, you know, not really sure, what would you say to them as far as where to start? And yeah, just like, I know that the questions that I get from people or the concerns are when they start having these major issues or major skin, you know, freakouts, and they want it corrected now. And it's like, okay, you started this journey, we got to keep pushing through. But I know some just don't even know where to start. Where would you say?
Well, you know, they always say that the best time to plant a fruit tree was yesterday, so or last year. So even if you're not sick, you know, start working on the lymph system, you know. Start getting off the acid-forming foods as much as you can. You know, get away from the dairy, grains, and meats and sugars and all that. And, you know, I don't know if it's been your experience, but it took me a long time to turn the Titanic around. It really did. I mean, I would have loved to have stopped cold turkey, but it just didn't happen for me. And then I'd go back and cheat and then feel terrible and go back and forth. Just a lot of back and forth. So start now before the acids really take over. But if you're really having a real problem, depending on how severe it is, sometimes you have to really go cold turkey. I mean, if you have a real degenerative disease, you got to go high fruit like right away, or it could be a life and death situation. But for most of us are not in that. Thank God. We're just slowly. Most the people that don't have this technology or this awakening are slowly deteriorating and going into the meat grinder. And I see this with my friends and family. I just watch them almost like marching slowly into the furnace, and you want to shake them and wake them up, but they don't want to wake up. So I would just say, just every day, just watch the videos. Try to go fruit till noon. Everybody can go fruit till noon. It's when your body's in its most cleansing state, right? You're cleansing toxins. You need your most energy. At least I'm a morning person. I was up at 5 this morning, and you need your most energy in the morning. For me, for sure. So fruit till noon. We can do that. And there you're more than halfway home.
Yes.
Just fruit till noon. I do 2 smoothies. I'm drinking one right now. I mean, I always have a smoothie at hand in the morning. And then, by the time noon comes around, I'm usually not even hungry. But then I'll go, you know what, I'm going for more fruit, right? I'm going to be the hero here. I'm going for more fruit, right? So then now it's 2 o'clock, right? And, well, okay, so maybe I'll have a salad. Maybe I'll have, if it's cold, sometimes I'll have like a baked sweet potato, or maybe a little bit of soup. I got to be careful on the soups that I make, though. One thing I found out with the veggies, you got to watch this. I hope I'm saying it right. This oxalic acid. You know about this? Some of these like kales and spinaches have this acid in them. If you eat too much of it, it can actually stiffen you up, and I can get a stiff neck from it if I eat too much. So fruit till noon. I think we can all do that, and then it goes into fruit till 4. If you can go to fruit till 4, and then a salad after that, you're home. You're home. But I would say everybody start now. Just go fruit till noon.
I know that some people will be questioning that as far as we get people that are so sick that when they eat anything, some can pass out. They're just that sick. And so I know with the fruit, people are like, well, my blood sugar, it gives me these spikes. So to those people, what would you say?
Well, if you're eating fruit and you're spiking your blood sugar too much, chances are you have sugar metabolism issues with your adrenal glands. So you're going to have to work on those adrenal glands. And not everybody can transition to fruit so quickly. That's true. So take it easy. Move on into it. Get a blood sugar monitor. Monitor the blood sugars. But as you detoxify, those adrenal glands will detoxify too, and they'll strengthen and come back online. Same with the pancreas. So yeah, sometimes it does. You have to ease into it. You can go from cooked steamed veggies to start, and then ease on into it, and then just slowly replace that. Listen to your body, of course, but you don't have to stay on the grains. You don't have to stay on the dairy. You don't have to stay on the meats. You can go to steamed veggies. The sweet potatoes are actually anti-inflammatory versus the regular potatoes, because the regular potatoes are nightshades. So that's a great way to transition. And what's really interesting is on my website there's a study by Harvard Medical, and it came out and it showed the glycemic load and the glycemic index of a lot of foods, and they tried to do it by serving size as best they could. And they took a bagel, and that had a glycemic load of 25. Now, the glycemic load is how much your blood sugar is raised by the food that you eat. The glycemic index is how fast it's raised, okay? So 25 for the bagel on the load, that's how much it raised the blood sugar. And 5 for an apple. 4 to 5 for an apple, a peach, a pear, a plum. 4 or 5. So 5 times more blood sugar raising from a bagel with no jelly on it, nothing else, just a plain bagel. So, and even, Dr. Morse and Marcy, who's type 1 diabetic, they say that they eventually get their type 1s to be high fruit. And then when they actually eat a salad, their blood sugar starts spiking. So, the fruit sugar is such a friendly sugar once your adrenals and pancreas are working properly that it's metabolized really quickly. So this is the good news. So yeah, but yeah, sometimes it is a rough transition over. So yeah, anybody who's hypoglycemic, hyperglycemic, diabetic, watch those blood sugars as you make your transition, because the adrenals they play an important part in sugar metabolism. It's not just the pancreas.
Right, and I think many of the people aren't necessarily supporting their adrenals as they're detoxing and supporting the kidneys, which are a major part too.
We have to. Everybody should have one of these. Okay, it's called an Omron IntelliSense. Okay, this is a blood pressure monitor, $50 on Amazon, right? And you can actually watch your adrenals with that. The top number, that systolic number, is your adrenal punch, right?
Right.
So you want that top number between 120 and 130, all right? And then the bottom number is the kidneys, okay? That's the kidney pressure. You want that between 60 and 70, okay? Most of us are just, well, I know me, okay, I'm getting better, but I'm a little high on the lower number, usually coming in 70, 71, 72. I want to be down a little bit more. Sometimes I am. And then the upper number I'm a little low on. I'm usually hovering around 115, 116. So, and that's common for a lot of people. So, but a lot of people, I mean, their upper number, their adrenal punch is down in the 90s, 80s, 70s. So that those adrenals are down. They're not going to be making the cortisol to help to metabolize the sugar. They're not going to be making the anti-inflammatory steroids that help keep the acids out of the body. So chances are their kidneys are inflamed, right? They're not going to be making the neurotransmitters to help the kidneys function. So they're going to be down. So you can actually watch this, right? And you can take the adrenal herbs, but always detox along with this too. But you can take the adrenal herbs to get that upper number up, right? And the best one we know is licorice root, right? Licorice root will really raise the adrenal punch up, okay? And then you have the other great adrenal herbs, like you have your cilantro, you have your parsley, you have your dandelion, which you can fresh juice, by the way. Really powerful for the adrenals and the kidneys. And then the berries are fantastic for the adrenals. Your chase tree, your juniper berries, your saw palmetto berries. Wonderful. So Siberian ginseng, not regular Korean ginseng, but Siberian ginseng is really powerful for the adrenal glands too. So yeah, so clean out the kidneys, use the kidney herbs. Get the kidney pressure down, get the adrenal pressure up, and you're on the path. But for $50, I mean, that's just such a great diagnostic tool. You can monitor that. I test mine sometimes 2-3 times a day. Try to take it under the same circumstances too. Your pressure is going to be a little different when you wake up in the morning versus when you've been around, in the kitchen and cleaning the house or running around, whatever. It's going to be a little different. And then rest 5 minutes. Have both feet planted on the ground, your legs not crossed, be on the couch, rest for 5 minutes, and then take your pressure, okay? And obviously not after having any kind of a stimulant like coffee or tea or anything, So try to get a handle on that, and then you can really work on those yourself, After you've done a detox, 4-way detox, and got that down, then start working on those numbers.
Do you test both arms?
Yeah. You have a kidney on each side, and they both run the different side of the body. My right side is weaker than my left. Yeah. I don't know how to take herbs to specifically go after that, but you
Well,
know.
yeah, kind of. I don't think there's one for specifically for the left and one for the right,
No,
but
not that I know. But I don't know if you guys saw the post I did. I picked up on one of the boards. This guy, Matthias, I think he's German, and he came up with a kidney filtration shortcut. Did you guys see that? Where,
I don't
they,
think I did.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying this is really fantastic. They're getting results. So what he did, and you guys know some people, we can't get them to filter their kidneys
Right.
for anything. So what he did was he lies on his back and skin brushes, or has somebody skin brush over where the kidneys are, beneath that lower rib on both sides of the spine, and they skin brush, and then they rub cayenne pepper into
Oh
the
yeah.
skin.
Yes,
Saw
I
that, yeah.
just that. Yes.
And then take castor oil and rub that in, right? And then soak some cloth with castor oil, and then lay that over the kidneys, and then lay a layer of cellophane so you don't get oil everywhere, and then put a heating pad over that. And sit down, read a book, whatever, for an hour at least. And that supposedly goes in there, and the anti-inflammatory properties of both the cayenne and the castor oil help dissolve and move lymph in those kidneys. And he got kidney filtration in 2 days. So
Wow.
something to try. I
Absolutely.
got kidney filtration quickly, thank God, but some people are really struggling with it. So,
Yes, it was funny. I had a nurse contact me, and because I was talking about kidney filtration, right? And she said, I've been a nurse for 20 years, and I've never seen a urine sample come through with lymphatic waste in it.
oh
So she was
wow.
questioning whether the lymphatic waste was real or not. I said, but that's why they're in the hospital, because they're not filtered.
That's right. That's right. That's like mechanics saying, I've never seen a guy come in with a good car. Yeah.
That's right. So I just thought it was kind of funny that because they don't know, they don't look at the lymphatic side of the body at all. They're into the blood, and that's it.
I don't, this is one of the great mysteries. Okay, we've gotten the download, right? We know how important the lymphatic system is,
Yeah.
but where's everybody else?
Right.
Where's the medical community? Are they just completely naive, or are they scared to death of us that we're going to uncover this, and because I'll tell you, when people get this message, there goes their business,
Absolutely.
trillions of dollars. So they don't want this out.
Yeah.
Whether consciously or subconsciously, I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is
And
this is this is it,
I've had people say,
and
"Do you think it's a conspiracy?" I said, "I don't care. If it's you can think whatever you want. I don't care. Let's focus on the lymphatic system. Let's alkalize your body and get you
right,
healthy. And I don't care what else is going on."
right. The truth will find its way. It
Yes.
really will. And thank God for the internet. Thank God for social media like what we're doing.
Absolutely.
The truth is getting out, and people are hungry for it. They really, truly are. I mean, it looks like Dr. Morse's business is just blowing up. I mean, he's running out of herbs right and left now. So
Yeah.
I think he's really, really, I think he's getting out of the individual stuff just to focus on building that, because I think he's really blowing up here. So it's
He's got like
wonderful. I've got to get going, you guys.
All right.
I hope I answered all your questions.
Oh, it was
If you
amazing.
have another quick one, I'd be glad to answer it. But it's been really fun, and God, let's do this again. This is
Yeah.
amazing. I
Yes.
love it.
Oh,
So,
Angie, you got another question or
no, we can let you get going, but yeah, we'd love to have you back sometime.
contact?
And
How do people contact you? And when is your
Oh.
show?
Okay, so yeah, it's markjamesgordon.com. I run a blog and a website over there, and also I have youtube.com/Mark James Gordon. And tonight at 6:30 Pacific time, I do a live broadcast. So just go to my website. There's a link there. Go to the YouTube channel. There's a link. There's also one on my website too. And join me tonight, you guys. You can chat any questions. We have a lively group, and some of these videos they're already up to 700 views
Awesome.
on YouTube. So we're getting the message out. So
Excellent.
yeah, bring any kind of questions you have, and
All right.
tell everybody. Let's get a good forum over there. We get about 20, 25 people just coming and going, but everybody brings questions, and it's kind of fun. And sometimes I get stumped and I have to say, I don't know, but I'll look it up and I'll get back to you next week on that one.
Absolutely. And that's the whole point is we don't know everything.
Exactly.
Okay? And we're
Yeah.
explorers and we're experimenting and experiencing because we're ingesting what we're sharing.
Exactly. We can all bring stuff to the party.
Right.
We can all bring little tidbits, and it all becomes one. So we're the army, all of us.
Yes.
We're marching for the health of the planet and waking the people up. And I'm just gonna say the final thing. It's just putting your faith back in nature. In the simplicity of it. I mean, let these powerful forces that are running these 100 trillion cells in us, let that force do the healing. I mean, let's keep our part simple. Choose that apple instead of that thing with a million chemicals in it and that label.
Absolutely.
Leave this. We'll handle simplicity. Let Mother Nature handle the complexity, and we'll all be just fine. So.
Well
That's
said.
a wonderful statement.
Well said.
Love it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
This
you
is
so
Well,
much.
God bless you guys, and thank you, and keep up the good work, and keep spreading the word, and we'll stay in contact on Facebook, of course.
Absolutely.
And let me know when you want to do this again. I'd love to.
Absolutely. We'd love to do it again.
Fantastic.
All right.
So much.
Take care, you guys.
Thank
See you
you,
tonight, maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 I've got some articles that I'm going to be writing soon. I just wrote down actually the chapters that are the head of those articles. And I think they're going to be pretty powerful. We'll see. But one of the things is, as our body shuts down, yeast, mold, fungus, and parasites love an acidic environment. So, as we are eating acidic foods, okay, they're building their empire so they can expand throughout the body. So the body is systematically shutting down because it's becoming acidic. And the bigger it gets, the less energy you have, because it doesn't like energy. The vibration is wrong. So it's shutting the body down systematically, energetically wise and alkaline wise. The bigger it gets, the more drained you feel. When we start putting live food in, and it starts attacking the gate, it's like a fortress, right? When we put live food in, it starts attacking the gate, they have a fit, because you're destroying their territory. And they start giving you headaches, cramps, the sweats, skin rashes. And why are they doing that? Because they want you to stop. And if you stop, they keep growing. So it's up to us, and these are levels. Our body is being systematically shut down. So to bring it back to life, that's why I say the body is asleep. To bring it back to life, we need to slowly introduce live liquids, live foods, and herbs so that it's attacking at a slower rate and it's gaining more and more territory, and they're not having as much of a fit. And they're not giving us, or if they do, that's what a healing crisis is, right? It's so much toxins trying to get out of the body that's blowing out through our skin, and we have cold and flu-like symptoms, and we have stomach issues and digestive issues and all these things because they're having a fit. So working slowly and going layer after layer, and we go through a healing crisis, like Mark said. So we go through this healing crisis, all of a sudden, we can have more live liquids, more live foods, more live herbs. And we start working again, and then we hit a wall, and we have a healing crisis. And what that is, that's trying to, the body is putting out more toxins than it can eliminate.
Right.
So that is one of the dangers of what we're doing here, is trying to maintain that fine balance between I can eliminate this much, and if you go along with me, over time I'll heal. You get going too fast, and it starts to build up, and we have all kinds of issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it's finding that balance between building our energy, having our body eliminate through the 13 channels of elimination, and getting our health back. But we're fighting an army, and that's the army of bad bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus, and parasites. So slow and steady will win the race, and it'll be a lot more comfortable than fast and riding hard. Because fast and riding hard is going to be a bumpy road. It's going to be a very bumpy road.
Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is.
And you know what's really weird is, as a society, we are trained to go 110%. So I'm going to detox. I want this out of my body by the end of the week, or the end of today. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Most people need to start really slow, and the more compromised and the more acidic your body is, the slower you have to start. You know, I think you've communicated with this person too, and I don't remember her name, but 4 ounces of Master Cleanse gives her a stomachache. 4 ounces. So they probably need to go to green smoothies, and I don't care if they have to sip, just a sip, for a whole day, every 10 minutes, and maybe 1 grape. That may be where they have to start their detox, because they're fighting an internal battle in their body that is bad bacteria, and you're trying to send in good enzymes and bacteria and electrolytes to get your body back, because you've been feeding these things for years, and they have built up incredible, I call them armies, incredible armies.
People aren't understanding. Like a gal that I've been helping recently sent me this picture, and her face is blown up, and she's like, I can't look like this. I sell skincare, and I'm like, but I tried to tell you, you need to just go slow, and you wanted to go full bore like me. I know, I get it, I understand. You want it out. And she's like, why can't we just push it out fast and hard and have it be done? And I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
No. It's much deeper than they think it is.
Yeah.
Interstitially in the tissue, it's deep, and your body is stiff and hard because of it. That's the one thing that I've noticed is my body was like hard, but there was a layer of fat there. And even though my body is still pretty hard, all that top layer is soft. Yeah. It's softening up. It has to melt. It has to liquefy it so it can wash it out. And that's what's happening. It's actually liquefying all that, and there's toxins in that fat because it stores it there. It protects the body from that. So it can take a long time. You put on 20 pounds and you can't get rid of it. That's because it's full of toxins, and the body won't dump the fat because the toxins will come in and it can't handle it. So it just stores it and it holds it there. And as soon as we start to detox, we get all our organs and glands and our kidneys functioning properly, and it starts washing things out. Then you will lose weight. And it can fall off. It can go really fast. Once the body can handle the toxins that are stuck in that, it'll wash it out really quickly. But it might take you a year to get there.
Right.
And it's never going to go away if you don't change. If you don't start doing alkalizing live liquids, foods, and herbs. They're taking away the very thing that keeps us healthy.
Right.
And it's up to us to find it, rediscover it, hopefully through these videos, through people sharing what they learned in these videos, and them taking charge of their life. Because we can't do it for them. We can only share information. You know.
just
And-
it. It's
And
the information can be shared, but
right.
they are the ones that have to do the work, and
Yes.
it's not going to be fun and pretty. It might seem like it off the bat that you start to feel a little better and you feel this energy, and then you keep pushing really hard, but then the body goes, whoa, can't do that.
Mhm.
So I think that's when people really kind of give up. When they start out, is they go, oh, my body can't. I can't do fruits. I can't do. My body just can't do it. No, you don't realize what's happening.
Right.
You don't realize that you're going through a process, and it's going to take a long time.
Something Mark said that I thought was, and I wanted to bring it up, but we were running out of time. Yes, I just had a great healing crisis. Right?
Yeah.
You said, have you had any issues? Yeah, I just had a great healing crisis.
Yeah.
That is an experienced detox guy talking, because everybody's afraid of a healing crisis. And he's like, all right, I got another one.
Right.
So he knows he's going deeper. And that
Yeah.
is one of the major differences between somebody who's detoxed for a long time and somebody who's just beginning. They're not actually afraid of it, they embrace it.
Yeah.
And I understand the fear of because you think you're making yourself sick, but actually you're helping your body heal itself.
Yeah.
And those are something that we need to learn, is we unconsciously made ourselves acidic. And now that we are conscious that we did that, we consciously want to eliminate it in 24 hours. And it's not going to
Of
happen.
course.
And it's not going to happen.
No, it's not, unfortunately. It's
It
just
took
not.
years for it to build, and it's going to take years for it to go away. Maybe 1 year, maybe 2. The transfer out is a lot different than how it went in,
Right.
because once you open up the channels, it'll just start eliminating all kinds of stuff. But you have to be true to the detox formula. And it was funny because I wrote this little article about, because a lot of people are afraid of detoxing.
Yeah.
Detoxing is what your body naturally does 24 hours a day, from when you were born to when you die.
Sure is.
That's its natural job. If we ingest food, it takes what it needs and disregards the rest, and it has to eliminate it somehow. But the food rating is compromising the elimination.
Right.
And in many cases, it's actually compromising the absorption of what it needs, because it's systematically shutting down. That is the whole basis of why you have dis-ease. And once we get hydration in there, because the standard American diet has no hydration in it, and any juice, soda, I don't care what it is you buy.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So anything that you buy, juice-wise or anything like that, is pasteurized. Why do they pasteurize it? Because it has no life left in it. There's no enzymes, there's no electrolytes, there's no nothing. Because it has a long shelf life. And that long shelf life shortens yours.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And so I totally get it. If I had a corporation and I was making food, I'd want it to last like a Twinkie too.
Sure.
Because I make it and 30 years later, it's still a Twinkie. So I've got 30 years to move that off the shelf.
Oh,
But there is nothing in there
right.
that is good for your body. It's good for my bottom line in my company, but it's not good for the people that are eating it. That's the big issue. And that's something that we need to really address and think about as we're going through our day. Mark is right. That very first thing when you get up, a herbal tea, a master cleanse, apple cider vinegar. These these are so important because it loosens your body up and it starts to alkalize the very first thing. And like we've said, there's so many people that their body is just so compromised. They have to start lightly. I mean, Dr. Morse has worked with people to eat one grape in a whole day is where they started.
Wow.
They could only nibble it.
Oh my God.
That's how compromised their body was.
Which I think there's plenty of those in the group, that aren't that compromised. And that start, well, who's going to think to start with just one grape in a day? Unless you're told that, nobody's just going to go, oh, I'm just going to start with one grape.
Right.
I wouldn't, so then we get into doing it too quickly. And then we find out what fast detox feels like.
Yes. And you and I have both had butt-kicking experiences.
Yes.
Yes. And my last two have been really, really mind-blowing. But you just stick with it, cut way back, stick with it, have a sweet potato, whatever it is that you need to slow it down, and just keep drinking your liquids and keep with the program, and eventually everything will come back to life with the nutrients and the hydration, electrolytes, enzymes to help digest your food. I mean, this is all so important. So, how do people get in touch with us?
Oh gosh, with so many avenues. Now, if you guys need to get a hold of us, we are at LivefoodDtox@gmail.com, or you can also go to our Facebook page as well, in group, and let us know you have some questions you need answers for. So we will be doing another video here with Dave, the raw food trucker, soon. So stay tuned for that one. That'll be super exciting as well.
Yeah, Dave is absolutely amazing. And, part of the reason that we're selecting the people we're selecting is they were really sick. And over the years and through time and effort and healing crises, they have figured out how to reclaim their body and how to re-enter a healthy lifestyle again. And Mark is one of those people. Dave Conradi, the raw food trucker, is another one. I mean, Dave's story is, you wait till you hear it. It's absolutely mind-blowing what that guy went through. And he still has issues. But according to medical science, he should have died a few times. They have no idea how he lived.
Well, we do.
Yeah, yes. And so does he now, and that's why he does what he does. So,
Right.
Pretty amazing. So, Live Food Detox on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Live Food
Facebook.
Detox on YouTube. If you want to stay up with our videos, then when you go see one of our videos, just subscribe, and as we do new videos, they will come to you.
Yeah.
So they'll be right there, and you can stay up with the latest things that we're doing and talking about, and that would be fantastic. We'd love to have you on board. Share your ideas, your thoughts, comments.
And if there's anybody that you guys want to see that we may not have thought of to
Yep.
contact, please let us know. That would be great help too.
And if they have a question, where do they do that?
If they have a question?
Yeah.
Yes. LivefoodDtox@gmail.com.
Awesome. Fantastic being here with you again, as always. Love seeing your smile.
Thank you. Even if it's a sick one.
Well,
Plug through. And plug through.
Yeah, that's part of the fact that you're doing this and you don't feel well. It's just showing other people that you can still do things. and you can do things that help other people and things that really matter, even though you're sick, and or you're having a healing crisis.
A little bit, yeah.
It's not it's not the end of the world, although it can feel like it. And we both know that. It can feel like you question a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
So
But I know better, so I know that this is just one more step up, and to keep going.
Yes.
So yeah, there's no stopping. We keep doing these regardless. So hang in there with us too, guys.
And
We
you
go
know,
through it.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say we go through it with you in
Yes.
these healing crises. These are not just talked about. So yeah, they definitely let you know what you're made of.
You know, there are people who have gallons of mucus in their head.
I don't doubt that after my first
Yeah.
healing crisis, where I just had never seen anything like it in my whole life.
Yeah, because it's solidified. So once it starts to loosen it up, and it starts coming out, it keeps coming and coming and coming, and you're slowly working your way through it. But yeah, it can be a process. So don't give up. You got to keep at it. Keep going. Get that circulation going. That's really important.
I need to go warm up.
All right. So love you.
Love you too.
And
Thanks, guys. Hang in there.
I will talk to you later, and I hope everybody has an amazing, fantastic detox.
Yeah,
Gotta stick with it.
definitely.
All
You
right.
got it, guys.
I will talk to you later.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye.
Guys, bye.
Oops, where are you? Bye bye.